Okay, guys, this is your girl Chi Chi on Get the Tea with the Chi, coming to you with another review on Catfish. This is season 2, episode 3. Now, this episode is hilarious. It is just so, I can't even give you words to describe what this episode was to me. It's about this young boy, and I say boy because he's 19. He's a young man, but the way he was behaving, he was acting like a little boy. His name is Ramon, and a young girl who was saying her name was Paola. Okay, so this young man, he's living in Arizona, working at a casino. Got a good job, making some money, but he was making good money, but using it in a foolish manner. Instead of using his money to better himself, he was using his money to try to entice or impress a girl. Dumb. Okay? Now, what happens is, he met this girl. He fell in love with her online. She said her name was Paola Rodriguez. And he's sitting up here talking to the girl, and she starts hinting at that she's having money problems. Know what that means? Send me some of your money. So she's hinting at him that her phone bill needs to be paid and all of this crap. So he sent her at one point $145 to pay her cell phone bill. So then on top of that, the girl, he's sending her other money. He bought her a Wii. Yeah, a Nintendo Wii. He bought her a Wii. And then he turns around and gives the girl his banking information. Sends her a debit card with a $2,000 balance. So all in all, with the Wii, the money he was sending her, and the money on the card, he spent like $3,000 on this girl. Okay. Now, problem number one, he's talking to this beautiful girl, and he decides to Skype with her one day. Now, Paola is the girl who he's in love with, or he thinks he's in love with. But supposedly, her cousin, Loyda, was the person that showed up on Skype. So when he saw Loyda, he was like, okay, because she was kind of heavy set and wasn't his cup of tea. And he was like, you can't be Paola. So she said, oh no, I'm just playing. And she then, says, oh, that was my cousin. Again, him never actually talking to the picture, the girl who he saw in the picture. He's believing, all this time that this picture is the person he's in love with. This is who I'm talking to. It can't be anybody else. Even though Loyda was trying to expose who she was from the very beginning, to let him know, you think you're talking to her, but you're really talking to me. He didn't want to hear that. He didn't want to hear it. So he wanted to continue the charade and think it has to be her that I'm talking to. It can't be anybody else. It has to be her. Even though this girl kept trying to expose herself to him. So when he contacts Neve and Max, and they do their little research or what have you, they find the real Paola, and her last name is Provost. So it's not even the Paola Rodriguez, it's Paola Provost. So they get her on Skype, because that's what they like to do to make sure if it's the right person, because they're really good at investigating and trying to make sure they're really helping people. So the girl says, I don't know who this Ramon guy is. So of course they get her recorded on Skype saying, I'm sorry Ramon, but you're not talking to me. He's sitting there like this, like a fool, a young fool in love. And so he decides, well, I want to go see who this girl is who's claiming that she's Paola, who blah, 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 blah. So they go down to Deltona, Florida. Why is stuff always happening in Florida? Okay. So they drive down to Florida. Well, fly down, drive whatever, to Florida. And the girl comes outside. Hi, Ramon. And he's like, hello. And so Neve and Max are like, so you know who this is? She was like, yes, he knows who I am. I tried to tell him who I was. He knew when he saw this. He knew what he was getting when he saw it. She's just all animated, He knew what he was getting. He knew I tried to show him who I was, and he knew. And I was like, oh, Lord. So he kind of catfished Neve and Max. So Neve and Max are like, well, what's going on? So eventually, you know, they go into the house the next day, and it's her mom. So the real girl, Loyda, they go into her house and meet her mom and her brother. So they have like this little family powwow. They're sitting there with Neve and Max. And the mother knew that the girl was catfishing the boy. Now she ought to be a damn shame. So it let me know, this is what got me. The mother had an attitude and was pissed about the situation. Not that her daughter was catfishing the young man. I think she was mad because the money stopped. Okay? I guess once he had shelled out over $3,000, he really wanted to know who he was really talking to. So the mother was kind of perturbed and pissed off. Oh, he knew this. He knew who he was talking to. Blah, blah, blah. And she's getting an attitude about the fact that they're confronting her daughter. So, long story short, this girl not only was catfishing this boy, but when he sent her some birthday money, she went and bought a wedding ring, engagement ring, I'm sorry. Put it on Facebook on blast, you know, and she bought the ring, mailed it to herself and wrote a letter to her from him and mailed it to the house. So when it arrived, her mom could think that Ramon actually bought this ring and sent it to the girl, proposing to her. Now you got to be one ignorant person to sit up here and allow your child to do somebody like this. So it shows me that nobody in the household has integrity. Nobody. Well, Ramon, and she's sitting there on TV, the mama, Ramon, you know, you sent her that ring. He said, I never sent her a ring. You sent her that letter. I saw it. So Neve figured it out. Neve was like, so you took the money he sent you, you bought a ring and wrote a letter to yourself and sent it to yourself and told your mother and everybody else, lying to everybody else, making them think this boy sent this to you. So if I ever saw Max get mad, Max was 38 hot. To the point Max looked like he could just slap everybody with the camera. Okay? I mean, it was off the chain. He was like, Max was just pissed off, and I'm gonna use a word I made up. He was pissed off to the highest of festivities. Okay? He was pissed. So, in the end, of course, he didn't want to be with the girl because she was not as beautiful. She wasn't a bad, she looked alright, but she was really heavy, and it looked like she had a cesarean section, or what, she had a muffin top, or a really large belly. So I think, her body, her visual is what turned him off. He liked who he was talking to. He liked the conversation and he liked the conversation and the commentary they had between each other. He just didn't like the visual. Therefore, he let it be known they weren't going to have a relationship. So the girl was crying and, upset because she really wanted to be with him. So in the end, she actually decided she would pay him the money back that he gave her. He didn't ask her to pay the money back. So I thought it was admirable of her to make installment payments to pay him back the money. But had she been truthful in the first place, none of this would have happened. Sometimes I think in life, even if you are an unattractive person, you never know what a person may like about you. Be friends first with a person, and perhaps they'll love your personality and your wit, your intellect, which will overshadow your appearance. Don't ever be afraid, to talk to somebody. Be friends with them first, because even if you pursue someone and you never get an opportunity to be with them, if you're friends with them first, your friendship may turn into a relationship. So I'm just saying this to the people out there who have had difficulties finding relationships or finding a mate or what have you. Don't go lying to people or trying to, or doing things that could eventually hurt a person or hurt your chances by doing some stupid mess like this. Now, I'm sure that Ramon's father didn't know because he was living with his dad. So I'm sure his dad didn't know he was doing this because Ramon didn't even have a car. So the $3,000 he sent to her, he could have bought himself a little used car, or saved up, put a few more thousand with it and bought him a new one, a small, a little car. But instead, he was chasing love. And I look at it this way: if you gotta shell out things and chase people, or try to impress people to get them, they're not worth you having in the first place. Alright, guys. That's it. That's the end. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. I'll be back at you next week.